Okay, so we have some official details regarding WWE 2K20 and this year's 2K Showcase. Now we know that it is going to be focused around the women's evolution and the 4 horsewomen, but we don't know what that entails just yet. But now we do. Yes, today 2K put out a press release which came with some roster images and also a screenshot of what we should expect for the 2K Showcase for the Women's Evolution. And we're going to look at that today in this video. So let's get stuck in and let's read what the Women's Evolution 2K Showcase is all about. In 2014, 4 talented young upstarts in NXT helped start what would eventually be known as the Women's Evolution in WWE. Fast forward to 2019, and women headlined WrestleMania for the first time in its history. WWE 2K20 tells the whole story in 2K Showcase, the Women's Evolution. Covers superstar Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair, Bayley, and Sasha Banks. The 4 horsewomen describe the journey to bring women's wrestling to the forefront of WWE in their own words with exclusive live action footage. 2K Showcase includes 15 playable instant classic matches spanning from the group's meteoric rise over the past 5 years. Players will unlock characters, attire parts, titles and more as they progress. Check out the complete list below to see if your favourite match made the cut. So here are the matches that made the cut for the Women's 2K Showcase and the Women's Evolution. Let's just go through them, let's read them out. You see them listed here, but we have the NXT TakeOver match between Charlotte with Ric Flair versus Natalya with Bret Hart. We have NXT TakeOver Rival, Sasha Banks versus Charlotte versus Bayley versus Becky Lynch. NXT TakeOver Brooklyn, Bayley versus Sasha Banks. What a match that was. Night of Champions 2015, Charlotte Flair with Paige now confirmed, and Becky Lynch versus Nikki Bella with Brie Bella and Alicia Fox. Some more confirmations for the roster with Nikki Bella, Brie Bella and Alicia Fox being featured in the Women's 2K Showcase. WrestleMania 32, Charlotte Flair with Ric Flair. Of course, nearly forgot. Ric Flair confirmed. Woo! Versus Becky Lynch versus Sasha Banks. Raw, Sasha Banks versus Charlotte with Dana Brooke. Backlash, Becky Lynch versus Alexa Bliss versus Carmella versus Naomi versus Natalya versus Nikki Bella. Plenty of confirmations there. The Princess of Staten Island, the Queen of Glow, Naomi, and Natalya we've already heard is going to be included, along with Bret the Hitman Hart, which we mentioned earlier. Hell in a Cell, Charlotte versus Sasha Banks. That's a good one. Elimination Chamber, Becky Lynch versus Mickie James. Mickie James now confirmed for the roster of WWE 2K20. An episode of Raw, Bayley versus Charlotte. WWE Fastlane, Sasha Banks versus Nia Jax. Nia Jax confirmed. WrestleMania 33, Bayley versus Charlotte versus Nia Jax versus Sasha Banks. WrestleMania 34, Charlotte versus Asuka. Asuka should have won that one. Evolution, the Women's Evolution, Becky Lynch versus Charlotte Flair. And WrestleMania 35, Becky Lynch versus Charlotte Flair versus Ronda Rousey, confirming that the baddest woman on the planet, Ronda Rousey, will again feature in a WWE game, even though she is now absent from the WWE. So a ton of confirmations for the roster on the women's side of WWE 2K20, a jam-packed stacked 15 playable matches for the Women's Evolution. Standout matches to me would be the NXT TakeOver match between Bayley versus Sasha Banks, in which you see here a screenshot of the two going at it at NXT TakeOver. I think this shot is pretty damn good, although I did notice this. I could be really wrong, but you see, we'll zoom in on this. You see this up here, that blurred shot. Does that look like a 20 to you? Looks more like a 19 blurred. Looks like a 1 and a 9. Or am I just seeing things? I don't know, just wanted to say that anyway, but it would be pretty strange to be putting out a screenshot from 19 when you're talking about 20, but I don't know, just kind of doesn't look like a 2. Anyway, I digress, but the screenshot does look fantastic. Not too much to take away, bar the attires of the superstars themselves. Bayley, we get a look at a new attire for her, or a retro attire from her time on NXT, and also Sasha Banks. And I think this is a better shot of Sasha Banks than we saw in the trailers, because I didn't think they did Sasha too much justice. But Sasha Banks looks great, Bayley looks great, and I'm quite excited about this. The standout, like I said, would be that NXT TakeOver Brooklyn match between the two, but I am really happy that WWE Games also reached out and got Ronda Rousey in this game as well. Many people thought that she wouldn't be in this year because of the case that she has decided to step away from WWE, but 2K again pulled out the stops and got her in. Maybe she was signed on to a 2-game deal. I don't know. I never know the ins and outs, but I'm glad that Rousey is in. And we also had plenty of confirmations. We had the Bellas, Nia Jax, Natalya. We even had Ric Flair and Bret the Hitman Hart. So there is a ton of detail here. Asuka as well. But what do you think about the Women's Evolution 2K Showcase? I want to ask you guys, is 2K Showcase a major part for you to pick up and go and buy a WWE game? Do you sit there and think to yourself, well, it all depends on what superstar they pick for a 2K Showcase for me to buy this game this year? Is this one that you're more interested in than last year with Daniel Bryan? Or would you have preferred what we had last year to this year? I want to get your views and opinions on this. I really want to know the importance to you of 2K Showcase. Is it something you enjoy? Is it something that you buy the game for? Because let's not forget, a few years back, it did disappear. Now it's made its return. So I am interested, and I would say the major positive about having a Women's Evolution 2K Showcase is we're getting to see it from different perspectives of the 4 horsewomen. So we're going to get to understand their journeys. It's not just going to be one superstar, but instead it is all 4 giving you their feelings towards how the Women's Evolution came together. Kind of hoping that they get a few other interviews in there along the way. It'd be great to hear from Ronda Rousey how she feels about joining the Women's Evolution after the 4 horsewomen paved the way. Love to hear stuff like that. But I am excited to see more detail about this. But for now, we now know the full match listing for the Women's 2K Showcase, the Women's Evolution. We know the details, we've had superstars confirmed, and I want to hear from you. Are you excited about it? Better than last year? Or would you have gone with another set of superstars? Would you have chosen another specific superstar? Who would you have chosen if that was the case? I thought that Roman Reigns was a big shout for this year's 2K Showcase, particularly after he was confirmed as the cover star. I mean, he's had a roller coaster year, so it wouldn't have put it past WWE to go with him, but no, they're staying true to the women. It has been a real high point for WWE, the women, over the past few years, and they're capitalising it in a WWE video game. So for now, that's all the info we have. I'll keep an eye out. Let's see what else comes of it. It's quite exciting. I'd say Showcase to me, I always respect the amount of work that goes into 2K Showcase. The fact they have to go back, recreate moments, because I do that myself inside a WWE game. At times I like to recreate things of the past, and I know how time consuming it can be. So from a developer's aspect, by God, it must be an effort. And it always looks on point, the 2K Showcase. It's always very polished. In terms of playability, I think it's like a once playthrough and then you're done. So that's my only concern about a showcase, is how long it lasts for. And it also has to be a story or a set of superstars that you are invested in, because if you're not keen on the women's evolution, then you're likely not to pick this up. So it does have to get you invested. I think it's a good choice this year. But I want to hear from you, have your views and opinions. But for now, please rate, comment and subscribe. And this is Delzinski, and I'll see you later.